Hello and welcome to the Causeway Leader Training series of videos. In this video, we'll be illustrating how a workgroup leader creates a new ballot for their workgroup. The first step is, of course, to navigate to your workgroup's dashboard. In this case, I'm going to pull down and go to the hidden group. Once on your group's dashboard, select the voting module. If the group has previous ballots that have already closed or are still in process, you'll see them under this title here where it says All Ballots. At the bottom of that list will be the button to create a new ballot. As with many functions in Causeway, the fields that are required have a red asterisk. I'm going to put a title in for my ballot. Then underneath that is a place for a description. Please note that what goes into the description is not the question that is being asked. There's a place for that later on in the ballot. You're simply going to put background information and maybe give a highlight as to what's going to be discussed in this ballot. In this case, I've created a brief description that says we have now have a draft document ready for review. I'm going to attach the document, and the document can be downloaded for review, and comments can be submitted either by using the attached spreadsheet or by commenting directly in the field associated with the ballot. We'll touch on both of those items, how to attach a document and how to make a comment available for your voters. The next field to consider is when the ballot opens and closes. The time displayed will be in the time of the person setting up the ballot. So we click here. I'm going to set this to open at midnight on the 25th of January. And I'm going to close it. Click in here 1 week later. Also at midnight. Okay, now we're ready to go. Now it's going to ask for the ballot type. Is this going to be a general poll where all members of the hidden group can vote? Or are we going to have a customized voter list? If you select this, you have to go down and actually enter the email addresses, the names of the people who are allowed to vote. Or is it an official ballot, which allows one member who has been pre-designated as primary voter for that company would be the only available voters if you select official ballot. Next is a section pretty self-explanatory on who's allowed to see the voting results. In most cases, when I set up ballots, I set it up so that all members can see it even while the voting is still ongoing. The reason for this is sometimes viewing other members' votes will cause offline discussion, and sometimes voting can be changed before the ballot closes. This helps prevent excess work because someone misunderstood a ballot. It can be explained in the process. But there are other options, so read through these and see which you want for your particular ballot. The next field has to do with whether or not the voter details will be shown on the final results page. This usually includes just the name and the company associated with that name. I'm going to add that in here. Then can the other viewers of the results page see the comments that are posted? And then last, are you going to allow attachments to be associated with the vote? Because we said this would be a possibility, in this ballot, we're going to select that option. If it's a simple yes or no ballot, you may not choose to activate the vote attachments option. The next field is whether you want to allow voters to change their vote after they've cast it. Usually this is defaulted as checked. I'm going to post this one as an administrator instead of in my own name. And I'm going to allow all work group members to view the question. So even if you had it restricted to only an official ballot, or if you had it restricted to a custom list, you could allow others to view it even if they weren't set up as voters for this ballot. The next few sections are collapsed. If you wish to create notifications, you expand this section. There are two types of notifications: the notifications to voters and the administrator alerts. So when this new ballot is launched, I do want the voters to all know. So I'm not going to set it up for creation, but rather when the vote opens. So you can choose from this list. And then when it's closed, I also want everyone in the work group to know that it is closed. You may choose to only notify the eligible voters. Under Administrator Alerts, these are choices that you can make when a new ballot is submitted or when alerts are sent out to the group. Do you want the admin team to get these messages? I'm going to leave those for now. The next expandable section has to do with the attachments. We're going to add two files as mentioned in the description. One is the paper that's going to be reviewed, and the other is a spreadsheet to collect comments. So you click Add a File. You can type in a display name and a description, but if you browse to it, it will simply use the file name as the display name. From your file manager, double-click on the file to be added and click Save. It may take a moment for it to load. Then you can repeat this process. Again, click on Add File and browse to the, in this case, the spreadsheet for collecting comments. Double-click in your file manager and it will add it. Click Save and it'll be added to this list. Once you have these two in place, we can go on to the next section. Since we said this was a white paper for review, we're going to put in the question to ask, is this paper ready to go to final balloting? Put the question in here. In this case, I said, is the paper ready to send to the Board of Directors for final approval? You can put additional explanatory material in here if you wish. In this case, I'm going to put in information. The publication can only occur after the board has reviewed the document. I'm going to allow comment, and I'm going to allow vote attachments. Rather than just do yes, no, and abstain, which would be perfectly acceptable with this kind of a question, and is pretty self-explanatory, I'm going to instead set it up so that you have to select one type of response. The first response will then be that, yes, this paper is ready as is. The next option might be that, no, it's not ready, but I only have one comment, in which case the voter could add their comment into the comment field, which you'll see in just a moment. If, however, they have multiple comments, we might want to add a third response, in which case they might say, no, I have multiple comments and have attached a spreadsheet listing them. We could also have multiple questions on the same ballot. Once we get to the bottom of this list, you can take a look at how your current ballot is set up by hitting the preview button. So we see it'll look to voters like this. They'll see the name of the ballot, a description of what the ballot's about. Here are the attachments they can download, the question, why the question is being asked, and what their options for response are. If someone clicks the no, it's not ready, but I have a comment, they can put a comment in here. even if they click one of these other options. So for example, the paper is ready and they want to use the comment field to give a real thumbs up to the group, this paper looks really great, they can do that in this comment field as well. However, if they have multiple comments and want to attach an updated version of the comment spreadsheet, they can click Attach File and upload their version of the comment spreadsheet. If everything looks good now that you've done this, you can click Save Ballot. If you found an error, a typo, something else you want to change, you can go back to continue editing and change any of the fields that we've already set up. I like how this one looks though, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Save Ballot. So here's our general poll, test ballot number 1. Everything is ready to go. It looks pretty much as the preview looked. And you see that it's not yet open because I set it to open for midnight tonight. And that's all it takes to set up a ballot in your group. If we refresh the page, go back to the voting module, you'll now see here's the list of ballots that are available. Thank you very much.